Dallas might be a tough decision right now.
My team did absolutely
Some
garbage.
NFL games that were like,
Right.
whoa. I actually don't
Had
understand.
a lot of mixed feelings.
Welcome, Disgruntled. We have another guest here on the Legal Domains.
Guess what? We started.
Wow, another day, another dollar.
Yeah. Oh well. Did we have that picture last time?
We did.
Did we have that one too?
I think so. I think we put it up mid-podcast.
So where did we just come from?
I don't know. Where did we just come from?
The Bronx Zoo.
The Bronx Zoo! Roll the clip.
But we made a little trip to Bronx Zoo, and we just got back. It was a 3-hour drive because of fucking New York traffic. And should I update them about the little update to our game?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
So since Titus forgot to buy liquor for shots, and and so in place he is going to be drinking that beer.
I will open and finish this beer as... Okay. I will start it once we get my first wrong prediction, and then I'll finish it by the end of the podcast.
Yes, and that's about equivalent to how many losses he had, which I will not be releasing at this time.
That's true.
Surprise element, because you know what this podcast lacks? Suspense. We gotta keep our
them
our
on their
customers.
toes, yeah.
So do you want to start with week 14?
Yeah. There was a very nice Thursday night game, which I predicted would be a good game, actually. A lot of people were like, oh, these are two bad teams. They may have records that would indicate that they are just meh, like middle of the pack NFL teams, but they are exciting teams, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about the Pittsburgh defense, they're pretty exciting. And, Najee Harris, offensive rookie of the year candidates, probably not one of the like front runners at this point, but still, like, he was one of the people that like a lot of people had money on, I would say, and he's been doing good regardless. Vikings defense came out and played like they were all over Ben Roethlisberger. Deontay Johnson, also one of those wide receivers who's had a big year, making a name for himself. So I thought it was a really good game. Minnesota, I think, was up pretty big, and then Pittsburgh was coming back, but they closed it out.
I think it was like 29-0 at one point.
Jeez.
Even though I'm not a Steelers fan, I was rooting for them to come back and win just because I wanted to see that complete comeback, and they almost did if it wasn't for Juju Smith-Schuster yelling at his offensive line.
Oh, that's right. That's
you know
the
why?
thing. Yeah.
You know why Juju? No, it was Claypool. Fucking Claypool. I get them mixed up. You know why he was yelling at his offensive lineman?
Why?
Because his offensive lineman yelled at him for celebrating after the play when they had seconds left on the clock.
Yep.
So it was Claypool's fault from the very beginning.
That's right. He celebrated. He's not an intelligent player. Like, he's talented. Like, he's got elite athleticism. He's just not smart when it comes to like situational stuff. I don't think he's really matured as like a football player,
He's too busy.
He's an athlete for sure.
He's too busy doing his tickety-tockety dance to care about football and
I
winning.
think that's more Juju, right?
Yeah, I just associate all that.
All the Steelers with. Funny.
But Washington football team versus Dallas, it was a close game. I predicted Washington, and Titus correctly guessed this one right. It was. Yeah, I honestly did not watch any football this week just because the Eagles weren't playing. And so I don't know too much about this game other than I think Heineke had a couple interceptions. There was a lot of penalties by Washington, or Washington committed a lot of penalties, I think, in which it was the cause of why they lost. But, yeah, that's all about I know.
Yeah, I watched a little bit early on, and it seemed pretty close at first, but Dallas closed it out because I think they are the better team at the end of the day. They're a dumb team.
Are they a dumb team?
They're just when they lose, it's just like, damn, you really lost, huh? Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like they have a lot of talent regardless. They're just like they just are bad at like closing things out or like getting the wins they're supposed to get. Otherwise, they still have a great record, to be fair, but just like it doesn't have to be this close, or certain games don't have to be losses, you know?
That makes sense.
Like, kind of like the Bucks last year, honestly.
Oh, don't compare them to the Bucks. I swear.
Oh,
like,
not the Buccaneers, not the
Oh.
Buccaneers. I meant like in basketball.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember a lot of people were saying like this team might win the championship, but they might be like one of the dumbest teams as well.
That's so
Because like
funny.
they just can't seem to like really put it together like a solid game. Like it always comes down to like, oh, they're making so many mistakes, but just getting through it, you know?
Wait, I don't want.
Like they shouldn't
Yeah.
be like blowing out. They should be blowing out some of these teams, but they keep making things close. Especially when they have like Giannis was MVP, not MVP candidate that year, but you know, 2-time MVP, All-Star MVP, Finals MVP. You know. But
Yeah, I guess I don't want you to compare to either Bucks team solely because they both won the championships, and I don't want the similar outcome for the Cowboys. But I agree on that.
I mean, I think that's a lot of
the.
the really good teams right now. Is none of them are like the best team in the league because all of them are making silly mistakes. Where you know, like even the Cardinals in their game, which we'll get to against the Rams, is like, damn, like it really came down to that, huh? Like it should be like just a solid, like okay, shake this one off. You know, we'll lose this one and move on. But it was just like a bad loss.
Yeah.
Not like they played bad, but how it ended was bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes
Like,
sense.
Too many like crucial mistakes that you shouldn't be making as a good team. I feel like there's a lot of these really top tier teams, which is why no one's actually clinched the playoff yet, going to week 15.
And I think this is one of the one of the most exciting NFL seasons that I can remember. Honestly, this is probably the most exciting NFL season solely because we don't, like you just said, no one's clinched it. No team is like having the most dominant performance. A lot of teams are having dominant performances, but they're very similar. And I guess the most exciting like year was watching the Eagles play and winning the Super Bowl. But like that, they were having a dominant season and they were like a clear number one. But in this case, there is no clear number one like team out of either side.
Yeah, it's not like when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. It was like, yeah, that it was like the team everyone kind of predicted to win. Well, not
Yeah.
everyone because they were like, I don't know. I guess that was the year that the Ravens were really good. But like throughout the year, everyone was like, you know what? If the Chiefs can get through the Ravens, then yeah, they're the obvious winners. You know.
And then here comes the Titans and just steamrolled them.
Oh man, I love that rivalry, Ravens Titans. It's a cool one. It's definitely not going to be like that this year. We're going to get to the Super Bowl, and it's like I can't even like picture what the Super Bowl is going to look like right now.
Patriots.
I remember last year when Chiefs Buccaneers played, like the commentators like these are going to be the teams that face off in the Super Bowl, and then they did. Like we had a good idea.
Yeah.
It was just like last year also could have been like maybe the Packers, but otherwise I couldn't have seen it any other way.
Yeah, I feel like there's always, year in, year out, there's always at least, like, maybe 4 teams, 2 AFC, 2 NFC, that are really shining. And they're like, oh, my God, these teams are, like, going to, like, dominate in the playoffs.
Exactly.
They have to get through each other. But, like, this season, everyone's in it. Like, there's, like, 4 or 5 teams on the AFC that I can see going to the Super Bowl and
Yeah,
winning
I
it.
could see Patriots, Bills, Chiefs, Chargers, Ravens, sure, and Titans when everyone's healthy, and maybe the Colts if they, you know, actually like prove that they're a team that can take down top teams. Like all those teams I could see making a playoff run.
Yeah.
And then on the NFC side, it's like Cowboys, I could see it. Cardinals and Rams,
Green Bay, I can see.
Packers, of course, and Buccaneers.
Yeah.
All the like so many different Super Bowl possibilities right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this season so far.
When the playoffs start, it's going to be really interesting to like look at that bracket and be like, damn, how is this going to shape out? Because it's going to look like a fucking NCAA basketball bracket where it's like any of these teams could make it all the way,
Yeah.
it feels like. Just because there's always so many upsets.
Yeah, and unless if like a particular team starts all like out of nowhere suddenly having like a dominant playoff performance, then it's just going to be up in there, like you just said.
March Madness is what it's called. I was
Yes.
blanking on it. Anyways, next game.
Wait, I just
One more
before I forget, because this is more current news on the football team. I guess this could wait until when we do the predictions, but I just want to say this quickly before I forget. Washington football team has 18 total COVID cases, and the Eagles are going to be playing half their team this game or this coming Sunday. And it's going to be a great game to go to because the Eagles are going to dominate Washington. And it's going to be
That's
feel
not
so
how you
good.
want to get a win.
But like to watch it in the stadium, that's going to feel so good.
I guess.
Like I already had my exciting Colts game like earlier this season. I want an Eagles dominating performance. But yeah, let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans demolished Jaguars. Well, I guess not really demolished, but they shut out the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-0. We both guessed the Jaguars to win, which was a big upset by the both of us. And that's when you just opened it and you got to start drinking it. So now you got to finish that before the season because we already said that. But yeah, have you had that beer before?
Did you say before the season?
Before the video ends. I'm tired.
Imagine I wait till like the end of the Super Bowl.
Just like take a sip every day.
Yeah.
You have to take a small sip every single day.
A little swig. I think I've had this IPA before. It's been a long time though. 6%. Wow. Gonna be a fun podcast.
Hey,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like right now with Derrick Henry and AJ Brown out, like any Titans game could be up in the air. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll put Jacksonville just because I think it would be funny, like a funny divisional one. And also, I kind of want the Colts to still have the chance to win the division. Not that the Colts really deserve it because they did get swept by the Titans, but I think it'd be funny regardless. I'd rather beat the Titans in the playoffs than win the division and then make a playoff run from there.
That makes sense.
I'd rather from the wild card. Right now, the Colts' top two playoff, the best odds of who they're playing first round of the playoffs are Titans and Ravens, and either one of those would be really good redemption games, because versus both of those teams, we went to overtime and had an unfortunate loss.
Yeah.
And obviously, it would feel better against the Titans because they swept us and they're a divisional rival. But also, that Ravens game was just so tough. Like, we could have really won that and just steamrolled from there. But it kind of set us back. A lot of injuries came from that game as well. Anyways, they would be good statement games. And so I think Colts will be a really fun playoff team to watch.
Yes, I agree.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how Titans recuperate. And if they can get Derrick Henry back in time, which there is high hopes for living.
High hopes. What's that song by?
High Hopes.
High Hopes.
By Panic at the Disco.
So yeah, I agree with you. Seahawks versus Houston Texans. Seahawks dominated the Texans as they should. Weird score though, 33-13, a lot of threes. This was an easy game to predict. I didn't really watch this game.
Honestly, was it that easy?
What do you mean?
Seahawks have been bad.
Yeah, but Houston's just that much worse.
Yeah, it's true. It's a whole different tier.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll wait till we get to our later predictions because I kind of want to go over what the tiers kind of look like right now.
Did you make?
It's really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't make any like graphic or anything, but okay. I have an idea of it. Chiefs versus Vegas, the Raiders. Damn, Raiders were the team that beat them earlier in the season, right? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
They definitely beat them last year, but I wasn't sure like where everything went wrong from the Chiefs because like Chiefs lost to a team and it was just like, whoa, they really lost to them. Damn.
I think it was just with the Chiefs' struggles early in the season.
They lost to the Ravens. Oh, they lost to the Chargers and then the Bills.
I'm pretty sure they beat the Raiders like 35 to like 9.
It was 41-14 the last time they met, and then this time, damn, yeah, they really gave them a beating each time. So their total score across those two meetings were 89 to 23.
That's crazy. What a little stat there. Yeah, Chiefs are unstoppable against the Raiders
This season.
Yeah, this season.
Because they did get stopped the last season.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
Chiefs are red hot right now.
Yes.
Like in the past, what was their win streak? Let's look. You can look at that. That's a stat I can show you. 6. I was gonna guess 4 or 5, but it's been 6 games in a row.
Looks like the Chiefs are back to their normal selves.
Yeah, I think so. I do. Because their defense even has been looking really good.
Yeah.
The only team better as far as a win streak goes is Patriots, and then Dolphins have a 5-win streak.
Yeah.
There are some streaks from teams where like, wait a second, are they even a good team like earlier in the season?
Yeah.
And now they're off to win streaks. I mean, you can count the Colts as well. They're not on a win streak, but their like last 7 has been, it's like 6 of 7 wins or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the theories that I saw was the Chiefs started off bad because Patrick Mahomes had a concussion like 7 days before the Super Bowl, in which he should have not played in the Super Bowl, but they played him anyway. And that made his
He got a beating.
Yeah, I got a beating, and that made his confidence level like so bad that people are predicting or were theorizing that that's why he started off so bad, because he was trying to shake off the rust from the Super Bowl.
Definitely not playing great, but I think it was really, honestly, it wasn't even all him. It was like the defense was also really bad.
The defense was just atrocious as well. Can I have the bottle
But
opener?
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks. I have
sure.
I
I
have
know you
a
like collecting them.
Yeah, I have a soda that I want to start drinking now, and
Really? You
it's
have
a glass. Yeah.
Those are like old school. I'm
Yeah,
surprised they still make those.
You know, I just want to be a little old school. You know, drink a
Yeah,
little
that's
soda
nice.
pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
good old soda pop.
Yeah.
Atlanta versus Carolina. Atlanta won. This was very important because these two teams technically are still in the running, both in the NFC South, and yeah, they could still technically make it in. I guess both teams aren't out yet, especially because like there hasn't been any clinching yet. I doubt either of them have a chance for the division because Buccaneers have been really good. But as far as a wild card goes, like it's anyone's race kind of thing, except for the Lions maybe. But yeah, they were both 5-7 coming into this game, so it was going to be very important because for tiebreakers mainly. And Atlanta ended up winning as we both predicted. Oh wait, we skipped a game. My bad.
Oh wait, the Saints and the Jets. I mean, what
But
do
it's
we
fine,
really?
it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's like
29-21 though. Cam Newton had a meh game, and now Sam Darnold, not Sam Darnold, he is off of IR now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach that.
Yes.
Because Sam Darnold did not end that run very well. He started the season, I don't know, was it 3-0, 4-0? He was playing really good.
Yeah.
And then it all fell apart. He was looking terrible before his injury. And so it's going to be interesting. Like, maybe he comes back and he plays well. But if he doesn't, could we see Sam Darnold get benched for Cam Newton of all people? That'd be crazy.
It could happen. I was on the Cam Newton train for a while, but after he had that really bad game, when he had 5.8, 5.2 QBR, I'm like, all right, this is over. Like, he's bad. Just for documentary purposes, the one game that we missed was the Saints-Jets.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Saints beat the Jets 30-9.
Jets still struggling to figure out what their identity is.
And they're just a bad team.
I think they're also struggling from injuries as well. They don't have, like, a clear receiving core. Like, I guess Elijah Moore has been standing out, but all the other receivers have been kind of looking meh. Michael Carter I think he was injured for a while. I think he's just now getting back, and Zach Wilson was also injured throughout the season. So it's just like a lot going on the offensive side, and also their defense has never really been good. I think that's something alongside maybe getting another wide receiver. They're going to have to really focus in the offseason trying to develop that defense. And once they do, I think they could be a pretty solid team. I'm not counting out Zach Wilson. I'm not counting out the coach yet. I really like the coach. But Saints, they were in the playoffs last year. Just because they lost Drew Brees doesn't mean like the rest of the team is bad. Kamara had a great game. Taysom Hill, who played a lot at quarterback last year, I think he was the highest scoring fantasy quarterback last week.
That's crazy.
Defense is still spectacular. You know, there's still great aspects of New Orleans, whereas Jets is coming off a season where nothing was good.
Yeah, honestly, I'm getting a new vibe out of the Jets. They're not perfect yet. They still have some building pieces, but I don't know why. But like the vibe that I'm getting from the Jets is like the next like maybe 5 years or so, I feel like they can be like a competitive team in this league.
I mean, it's hard as a coach to go into. I mean, when you think about like the Colts team, that was like what, 1 win, or the 0-16 Lions team. No coach, no general manager, no rookie quarterback, for that matter, can just walk in and change everything.
Yeah.
The only quarterback that's really been able to do that was Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck came into a team that was terrible and took him to the playoffs as a rookie. And that's the only quarterback I can think of in history who was able to do that. Mahomes, they were in the playoffs before Mahomes.
They were 2-4. Oh, wait. No, fuck. I forgot about Alex Smith. I thought Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, like, both came on the team at the same exact time. I don't know why. I completely forgot about the Alex Smith era. So
Alex Smith, I mean, like, it was a mediocre team, but they were making playoffs.
Yeah. So, yeah, Atlanta versus... Wait, we already went over that. Quick side note. I wanted the Panthers to win just because the Eagles have a tiebreaker over the Panthers. And if we end up having the same record as the Panthers to get into the playoffs, I'd rather be tied with the Panthers rather than the Falcons because I'm not quite sure what tiebreaker we have over the Falcons. But, yeah. But it doesn't really matter.
Did you beat the Falcons?
We didn't play them. Wait, no.
You did.
No, yeah, never mind. That was the first game. Never mind. I completely fucking forgot. That feels like such a long time ago. Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
nice thing about the Colts as well is that most of their major losses were to NFC teams. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm blanking. It was Rams, Seahawks, Buccaneers. Yeah, those were like their major losses. And so, like, all three of those teams... Well, actually, not the Seahawks. But if those were, like, AFC teams we lost to instead, like, our tiebreaker scenarios would be terrible. But we have wins over Miami and, you know, other teams that are up for...
Yeah.
That are competing within the conference. Bills. That was the one I was making on. So... It's good that, like, as far as the AFC goes, like, we only lost to, like, a divisional rival, and then Ravens, like, yeah. But they're also going to be, like, a division winner, as it looks like as of right now. So, as long as, like, those two, like, stay in the divisional race, like, all we have to worry about is the wild card teams, which we have to win over the Bills, and, yeah, we play Patriots soon, but whatever.
Going to be definitely an interesting way to enter the playoffs or a tight window or close games to
I think we're at like a 50% chance right now.
Really? I can see that. What, your guys are 7-6? Yeah.
We're 6 seed right now.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that graphic. That was crazy. What was the thing that you were telling me?
Oh, we were 10 seed before our bye week, and then after our bye week, we ended up at 6 because just things went our way during the bye week.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, without playing, you jumped up like 4 seeds. That's like so many things went your way in order for that to happen. So now you have a little bit more control of your destiny where you can...
I think we could have been 5th as well, but... I don't know which team won.
It was probably some stupid ass team that didn't.
I think it was the Chargers.
Chargers?
If the Chargers lost, we could have been 5th.
Yeah. Wow. Fucking Chargers always messing things up. But we got Cleveland, Baltimore. I guess Cleveland winning. You guess Baltimore. That was a very close game.
Yeah. I was really confident about Baltimore because honestly, the only reason I think they lost is because Lamar Jackson got injured. But even before he got injured, Cleveland had a great start to the game, but ended up being close with Huntley. So, I don't know. Like, I just have better feelings about Baltimore as a playoff team, even with all the shit that is going on in that organization. As far as, like, they don't have, like, a clear rushing leader. Because, you know, they can use Lamar Jackson, but now that he's injured, I don't know if they're going to be as comfortable doing that. Yeah. If he does end up getting back this week. And receiving, like, the passing game has been a little bit meh. Defense has been very on and off. It's just like Baltimore is like so good at some points, and then other times it's like so atrocious. Yeah. And I think that's mainly just because they aren't the healthiest team. And then there's Cleveland that has also suffered through some injury stuff, but like they have probably the defensive player of the year candidate right now, Myles Garrett. They just haven't really been excelling, despite everyone thinking that they could even win the conference, because they didn't lose this offseason. They had really great gains. It's just for some reason it's not clicking amongst the team. So,
maybe it's too many new pieces.
I don't even know if it was a lot of new pieces. I think they had even last year, like they had great pieces. It was just like, you know, they strengthened in the areas where they needed to have more strength in, which was like defensive backs, I think was part of it.
Yeah.
Linemen. something like that.
Yeah, but it was a very close game. No, not really close game. 16-point deficit. Los Angeles Chargers beat New York New York Giants, 37-21. Again, I have no idea what happened in this game. I could not tell you a singular thing, but it looks
Giants
like
are just irrelevant.
yeah.
Chargers, I always see it. People are like, Justin Herbert has all these MVP performances all the time, like when they played the Eagles. Like he had an MVP performance, but then there are other games where it's just like, damn, what is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
He's still a rookie, it feels like. I don't know where that stems from, but if they can figure it out, they're going to be a really great team that will be able to challenge Kansas City for the AFC AFC West throne, which Raiders and Denver have been struggling to do despite, getting their shit together at least a bit more than last year. But Chargers, like, they'll be able to because they have a pretty good defense. They have Austin Eckler. They have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I don't know any other pieces other than that, but his stat line against the Giants was 74.2 completion percentage versus second. No, never mind. Third best this season. 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 133.1 QBR rating, which is his third best. 133.1 rating, which is his best rating so far. And what I was getting chipped on was that I thought the Eagles, when he played the Eagles, that was his second best performance. But his second best performance came against the Chiefs. But yeah, he had a very, very good game against the Giants, as any quarterback should, unless if your name is Jalen Hurts, then you have terrible games against the Giants. Denver against the Lions, 38-10. Denver won, and the funny thing was, Trey was telling me, he was like, "Oh my God, we beat the Lions, and I think we had like the best deficit, or we destroyed the Lions like the most this season." I'm like, bitch, have you seen the Eagles score? The Eagles won 44-6 against the Lions. Calm the fuck down. And we both started laughing.
It doesn't even matter. Like, yeah, you had the best like plus minus against the Lions, but like it's the fucking Lions.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how much you blow them out. You're gonna do well against them unless you were the Vikings last week, which I don't know what happened there. Whatever. Like, if you don't beat Detroit, then that's sad, and if you do, then whatever, move on.
I was really hoping Teddy Bridgewater would have a bad game, but he had 72 completion percentage, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 118.6 rating, which probably 99% of those passes came from dunk downs or him dunking the ball. I'm going to reset the camera because we're at 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, I should make an album.
Yes.
Ooh, look how big my waveform was on that. Oh yeah. Look at that waveform. All right, sorry, headphone users.
I didn't realize, I just set up the camera, and it took me a good 2 to 3 minutes to realize, at the beginning of this podcast, that it was that bad. It's so fucking slanted. It's
why didn't you fix it just now? Continuity?
Yeah, and for the comedic relief. Baby, this podcast is on my resume.
Oh my god. It really is, though.
I'm proud of this podcast.
I'm glad you are.
What, you're not proud? That's so mean. Are you really
Finally, a good game we can talk about. San Francisco versus Cincinnati. This was really important because these are two teams fighting for a wild card spot. I guess Cincinnati could still technically take AFC North, but I think Baltimore's got it for now. San Francisco likely not taking it from Cardinals or Rams. That is too heated at the top. But still, San Francisco has a chance for the wild card, and they got this win in overtime after a huge lead. Well, not huge, but a significant lead. George Kittle had a great game again. Ayuk is looking better and better each week, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe getting back to rookie year self, but we'll see.
Samuel and him are going to be a dangerous duo, and guess who has them both in fantasy? This guy right here.
And guess who's going to be their quarterback next year? Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, if Aaron Rodgers goes to San Fran, automatic Super Bowl winners. I don't care what you tell me. They're automatically winning the Super Bowl. That's going to be such
Dude, Aaron Rodgers and George Kittle.
Ooh.
Oh, are you kidding me?
That would be deadly.
That's bigger news than when LeBron joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers and George Kittle. Oh, shit. Derek Carr to Devontae Adams, maybe?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Three-way trade? Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
What if they had a three-way trade? Raiders, San Fran, and Green Bay.
That'd be crazy.
But, yeah, close game. Doesn't help the Eagles at all in playoff contention. Fuck you, Cincinnati. But next game. Next game. We got Buccaneers versus Buffalo. The Bucks beat Buffalo 33-27 in a very, very tight-knit game.
Tampa Bay blew a whole lead. It was crazy.
What was the lead?
It was big. I don't know for sure, but I know that Buffalo had to score like 3 straight touchdowns in order to take it to overtime. And there's a missed pass interference call, which could have been a touchdown that would have sealed the game for Buffalo in regular time. I'm pretty sure, if I was watching the highlights right. I didn't get to see like a lot of the full game, but
yeah. Josh Allen got me 35 points in fantasy. He had a crazy game. He went 36 for 54, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. But this is the craziest stat. He was the leading carrier on this team for rushing, 12 carries, leading rusher, 109 yards, and he had a singular touchdown, which...
Wait, who was?
Josh Allen.
Oh, right.
And this was crazy. And there were Buffalo Bills, the score was 24-3 heading into half. And then they came back, like you said. And Buccaneers threw a touchdown in overtime. I think it was like the first play in overtime. And the crazy thing...
Oh, yeah, it was like a 50-plus play.
Yeah, I think it was one of the longest touchdowns to win the game in overtime. The first being, I think, the Damius Thomas touchdown when Tim Tebow threw it to him.
Yeah.
In the playoffs to beat the Steelers. And yes, rest in peace. This is a little segment because it was crazy because it was like such a coincidence because those two plays were so similar. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win in overtime and then the Broncos win in overtime. Like those two like bombs were so similar that it was like scary. Like it was overtime, both like 50-plus yard touchdowns. They both went the same way. Like the same like route run, right hash, both running down the like sideline. Like both like basically untouched. Like it was eerie how close it was.
Also, I think it was Tom Brady's 700th touchdown throw.
That's insane. Like including playoffs.
Tom Brady, 700. Let's look. Yeah, he reached 700 career touchdown passes, which is the only quarterback ever to do it. Yeah, it was during overtime. It was the one during overtime.
Yeah, and I also saw this funny video too. The ball boy, he sprinted. Yeah. He sprinted on to get the touchdown or to get the ball for Tom Brady because it was a game winner and his 700th.
Yeah, he was sprinting.
Yeah, but yeah, so that he had 600 total regular season touchdowns, which is a crazy mark because he reached 600 regular season touchdowns and then 700 total touchdowns in his career, which is 2 crazy stats to accomplish this year. I think that's going to solidify him into being MVP. I hate to say it.
No.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't like that though. I don't think MVP should be like what record all time you get. It should be your single season performance.
Yeah.
I like all else like everything outside of this single season shouldn't be considered.
I
You
think,
should be treated like you're any of the other 20-year-old quarterbacks. You know?
but sadly, I think if you break some records, that leads into it.
But no, only if it's a single season
Yeah,
record.
I guess so. Because with Peyton Manning, when he had that crazy MVP with the Broncos
But that was a single season.
Yeah, I was just going to say that was mostly single season. I think I was just comparing those two. Like, Peyton Manning was breaking records. Tom Brady's breaking records. Not records, but, like, getting milestones. And breaking records, I guess.
True, he has been breaking records.
Breaking records, but I guess those are more career statistics rather than single season, which
There
MVP,
aren't a lot of records he hasn't broken.
Yeah. But, yeah. Green Bay versus Bears. This was a dominant not dominant performance. Dominant in the second half. Chicago was up a decent amount. I think 45 points were scored in the second quarter or second half, which was insane. It was a very point heavy second or first half, but Bears just imploded, and Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, and he just did what he usually does against the Bears and just went off to the races. He had 2 total touchdowns that went Adams' way, Devontae Adams' way, 4 total touchdowns for the game. Rodgers is a bear killer, and his stats prove
He slaughtered them, but he also owns them.
Yes. I want to look up.
It was a really close game. Like, it was a good game. And some crazy stuff happened. Like, it was very entertaining. Like, a lot of special team stuff, mainly. And so, if you missed it, then you missed out.
Yes. This was one of the games that we actually watched and got lucky in watching or privileged to watch. But Aaron Rodgers' stats was crazy this game. 78.4 completion percentage, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 141.1 QBR, which is absolutely insane.
These last 3 games really have to do a lot with the MVP race. We'll talk about Tom Brady's performance, Aaron Rodgers' performance, and these next 2, Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford.
This was a very close game.
This was a very close game. Kyler Murray didn't really have a great game, though. He had 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. I think all the scoring went to James Conner, who's had an amazing year, maybe a comeback player of the year candidate if Dak Prescott continues to kind of not do so great, not do so hot. But Matthew Stafford, pretty good game from him. Defense played great. Like, I think everyone in the Rams just played really great. They looked like the team we have been thinking they were at the beginning of the season. They just didn't get a real win to really secure that fact. They're like, oh, we're a team that can, like, really take it to the playoffs. But, what really matters is how you play towards the end of the season, right before playoffs start. We see that year in, year out. If you can play like you're ready for the playoffs towards the end of the season, then that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you go like 10-0 like the Steelers did and then like flail around for the rest of the season. Last season, that was. Why'd you bring your mic closer when you did that? Didn't make any sense. Anyways. Yeah. I really like watching the NFC West games because it's always very competitive and a lot of great talent on those teams. Deservingly prime time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Just with a quick James Conner statistics overview, and then we can jump into MVP race, the most anticipated segment of this podcast and one of my favorite segments of the podcast this year. James Conner stats for this past game, he was 13 rushes, 31 yards, which was terrible rushing wise. But he ended up getting 2 touchdowns out of that, 2 rushing touchdowns. But he got targeted 9 times for 9 receptions. All targets went his way were catches for 94 yards. And then season statistics, he doesn't get really a lot of rushing yards, but he has 179 attempts, 661 rushing yards, 3.7 average. But this is what is crucial. He has 14 total touchdowns just rushing alone, and which is absurd. And his receiving stats, 29 receptions, 303 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. 14 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns, which he's having a really, really good season.
Someone on Twitter was saying that he's putting up the same stats as he did with the Steelers last year, just got more touchdowns, and that's what really has made him look shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Which may be true. I haven't really looked at the comparison myself, but I think that's just very interesting because, like you said, his usage hasn't been immense. It's just they've been using him a lot in the red zone. And so, I mean, red zone is what creates all the highlights and clips. So that's why his name's getting around.
Yeah.
But, you know, regardless, it's good that he's found a role. I feel like his role on the Steelers was very, like, weird. Like, he wasn't getting, like, the respect, kind of.
Yeah.
And they weren't using him for, like, his talents. They were just like, we're just going to rush him because we don't know how we're just going to have Ben Roethlisberger, who's, like, halfway in his grave right now, just throw for the whole game.
And that's why I didn't pick him up for this season.
Mm-hmm.
James Conner anyways, because I did have James Conner last year, and I used him a lot, but he just wasn't getting a lot of points. So that's why I didn't pick him up this year, in which I should have. I was highly thinking about it, though. But, yeah, let's move on to the MVP race.
Woo!
Which, this is crazy. It's dwindling down. Holy crap, now you're only down to 4. That's crazy.
We are only down to 4. I mean, at this point, we should be anyways. Like, I feel like these 4 are the candidates in my head. A lot of people will disagree. And, I mean, we'll look at the honorable mentions. Kyler Murray, a lot of people will disagree. They should, you know, still remain on the list. Not just the honorable mentions, but the actual list. Because his stats overall, like, per game, that is, have been better than the others, which is true. But he's also had a lot of games with a lot of turnovers alone. And he's missed a lot. So it's, like, hard to be a valuable player when you're kind of, like, you're not putting in all the work every game. Like, Aaron Rodgers last year, you know, he only had one game where he, like, really failed. All the other games were, like, really good, no turnovers, you know, what you want to see from a most valuable player. When you have multiple games where you're not even putting up touchdowns and putting mainly just turnovers, like multiple games like that, it's hard to consider you an MVP, especially when you missed 3 whole games.
Mm-hmm.
Due to injury, and which isn't like entirely his fault. It's just like, you know, you have to, in order to be valuable, you also have to be available. Dak Prescott, he has one of the higher completion percentages, but otherwise meh. Patrick Mahomes, he's been on a really great streak, but just the way he started out the season was really bad, and I mean, he's like, his stats still suffer from the fact of like how he started the season. So, but it also kind of goes to show you like maybe he could be the valuable player just from the fact that because he was playing so bad at the start of the year, how they looked, and then now that he's playing well, they're looking dominant like they used to be. So like you could kind of make it out to be that narrative, but I think it has to be a year from the start of the year to the end of the year. You have to be that way. Otherwise, we'd be giving Russell Wilson more MVPs because of how he starts seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, so weird. He's just inconsistent. It's just really inconsistent, which is a real bummer. He puts up MVP stats many games, but then other games it's just like meh. He's not doing what he could do. But I think he'll sort it out. You know, the fact that he's even being considered in his second year is crazy. Anyways, Josh Allen. I think really what it comes down to Josh Allen even remaining this high in the odds, despite his stats not really being that impressive, is just the fact that he's been used so much. Like, he has Tom Brady utilization. Like, that's how they consider him in Buffalo. Like, he is the Tom Brady. We don't even need to rush it. Just let him throw. Whereas Justin Herbert has Eckler. Dak Prescott has Elliott. Kyler Murray has Connor in the red zone. All that shit. Like, every one of these quarterbacks have, like, a rushing game. Like, a plan to relieve the quarterback. Josh Allen doesn't really have that. So, I can understand why he's up there, but his stats just don't support like the consistency of like especially winning. I think that's the main thing. His record is 7-6 right now. So anyways, moving on. Who's actually on the list? Well,
Let's find out.
Jonathan Taylor's on the list after a bye. I can't like take him off the list, you know. I honestly almost feel compelled to, just because the quarterbacks are making better cases for themselves now, whereas they were really inconsistent at the start of the year. But I think Matthew Stafford's getting back on track. Aaron Rodgers is looking real good, like last season.
Mm-hmm.
Real good. Tom Brady also looking very good, as he has kind of been throughout the season. Just not to the point where it was like an Aaron Rodgers level of like, oh my God, obvious MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was last year. So yeah, Jonathan Taylor, I'm just keeping on there just because he had to buy and can still like put up numbers like 2,000 yards isn't completely out of the way yet. You know, it's going to take 160 yards per game, but like he has been putting up. I mean, all of the Colts wins have been from him getting over 100 yards each game.
Mm-hmm.
So if they went out, it's not impossible to say that he could at least get close to 2,000 yards, in which, he has to be in consideration, especially if he's scoring a lot and just overall just contributing to the main flow of like how the offense is moving. And he's just so much above all the other running backs right now.
I agree.
That isn't Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's injured, so yeah.
R.I.P.
Exactly. Matthew Stafford had 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in his wins against Arizona. He has more passing yards than Aaron Rodgers. He has basically the same completion percentage. Honestly, all of them, Brady, Rodgers, and Stafford, all have basically the same completion percentage. It's off by like, what is that?
0.08.
A hundredth?
Yeah.
Like a hundredths of a percentage. He does have 9 interceptions and a fumble, but that's not terrible. He has 33 touchdowns, so it's a 3.3 touchdown turnover ratio. He has a very high rating, which even Tom Brady hasn't even reached the rating that Matthew Stafford has. He leads in first down percentages. So first downs achieved, I guess, received, gotten per pass attempt. He knows how to drive the ball down the field, basically. He's very efficient with it. He also has the most 40-plus yards, so bombs, I guess you could say, and is up there with Brady for 20-plus yards, which is like mid-range, I guess. And he doesn't really, he hasn't fumbled. He's only gotten to 1 fumble. He's at 9-4, which was like the big thing against him, was like they had the losing streak. But now he's on a 2-win streak and beat a good team like Arizona. I think he should be further in the conversation, more than the odds say. He's at plus 1,400, whereas Aaron Rodgers is at plus 500. Tom Brady at minus 175, so like the clear favorite right now. I think he should be higher up there because if he finishes out the season really well, I think he could really win this MVP. I really do. Otherwise, I put him in honorable mentions. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers, he's making a better case for himself. I was considering even tying him with Tom Brady, but I'm not going to get to that point yet. He has the best record right now. He did miss a game, but still, regardless, doesn't matter. He has by far the best touchdown turnover ratio. He has 30 touchdowns, which isn't as much as the others, but the fact that he only has 4 interceptions and he has no fumbles is insane. He hasn't been throwing, at least early in the season, he wasn't like throwing a lot of deep balls. He wasn't like really trying to push the ball far down the field. They're just trying to take it slow, it felt like. And a lot of rush game was being prioritized earlier in the season. So, he still has a lot of like catching up to do to like those sort of stats with Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford, but he's still up there. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against Chicago, which is still a good defense. So,
wait. Sorry. I don't want to be this guy, but
What?
The only reason why I bring this up is because I was looking at the Aaron Rodgers stats earlier, and Google says he only has 27 touchdowns.
27 passing touchdowns, but he has 3 rushing touchdowns. I'm doing rush downs total.
Okay, I forgot that. You know what? I knew you were doing that. I don't even know why I did that. I'm sorry.
But Aaron Rodgers has 3 rushing touchdowns.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Forget I said anything, Titus.
No.
I'm sorry to ever question. I'm sorry to question your superiority in this graph.
Now here's the guy who's the odds favorite, my favorite. It's Tom Brady, the GOAT. He hasn't missed a game. He's won 10 times, only lost 3 times. And in those losses, I don't even know if he played that bad, honestly. I don't really remember. But I don't know if he played that bad. He leads in touchdowns. He does not lead the lead in passing yards, unfortunately. I did check that. Derek Carr's still leading.
I hate the fact that he's still leading.
But that doesn't matter. Deshaun Watson led the league in passing yards last season. Obviously, he's not going to get MVP.
And he's not even... Wait.
With they had 4 wins last year? I don't even know. So, yeah. He doesn't take a sack as much as the other guys. He does have the most turnovers, which is an issue. His rating has suffered because of that, but I think just the totals through the year combined with the usage and all of that and the fact that he's winning, like that's really all that matters to me. Like this Tom Brady is looking more and more like our MVP this year, which is crazy cuz
he's 50 million years old.
He's probably entering his 4th Hall of Fame career right now. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
And hey, you can't be perfect in every statistic. That's almost impossible.
Yeah, that's true.
If you can in the comments. I know this is not going to happen because we have like 5 viewers.
Aaron Rodgers did have a perfect MVP.
He did.
Season.
Other than Aaron Rodgers, he had the most perfect MVP season, leading in all statistics or a majority of the statistics. Wait, Aaron Rodgers really led most of the statistics?
I meant not last year, but one of his years, he was like considered the best MVP. It was like the best MVP season ever.
Yeah.
One of his MVP seasons.
That's insane. Well, I just want to... We can move on to the predictions for next week, but in the meantime, wait, are you done with MVP talk?
I am.
Okay. But I just to itch my brain, I want to look up the top, like the MVP rankings just out of curiosity, but we can start the predictions. We got Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers, in which this is a very, very exciting Thursday night football.
I gotta finish this.
I got the hiccups for some odd reason. I don't know why. But you were saying how, like, last week's Thursday night football game was very exciting, but I feel like
this one is going to be high.
I feel like this is more exciting than last week's, which is so awesome to have back-to-back, like, amazing Thursday night games.
We never get good Thursday night games.
This is a rarity to have back-to-back great, like, performance.
Thursday night games are usually just, like, messes.
Yeah. I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning. Honestly, this week has been the most time, or one of the most times where I feel like I kind of did a coin flip on like picking each team, and this is one of the games where I kind of did a coin flip. This is a divisional game. Chargers, have had some really bad games, but they have some really great games. And in those great games, I feel like Kansas, they are able to beat the Chiefs. They just have to perform in one of those great performances,
right,
in order to beat the Chiefs. Like, they have to have a great performances. I picked the Chiefs because they're performing at a higher level, more consistency. You talked about the winning streak that they had earlier this podcast, and I just think they're the safer bet to choose because Chargers have been looking lopsided. They have been looking really good, really, really bad. And I just don't know if they're going to have a really good game or a really bad game against the Chiefs. But I picked the Chiefs just due to consistency. And I feel like they have a better roster and more veteran presence.
I just think it's a streak that is not going to let up so easily. And the Chargers are still kind of getting their shit together and battling with the inconsistency. I don't consider them like a division winner yet, maybe next year. So I think Chargers will make wild card, but they're going to lose out to the Kansas City Chiefs for a division, and this is where they're going to look back and get their motivation from going into the next season. They're like, man, if it wasn't for that game, maybe we would have had a chance. So yeah, I have Chiefs. It's really experience because at this point in the season, situational football and that sort of experience is so important when you're going into the playoffs. And Chiefs are just looking red hot, and who can really stop them at that point?
I agree.
Your best hopes of stopping them is early in the season.
I agree. Cleveland versus Raiders. I pick the Browns, just because of coaching. I watched a couple Raiders games. I think it was the Raiders Eagles and the Raiders Cowboys. And from what I've seen, it's just they have such bad coaching, but somehow they're able to have 6 wins. I just think coaching is going to win Cleveland this game. But honestly, I can see the Raiders.
I have the Raiders.
Yes, this was the second coin flip that I had. It's crazy. Like, I feel like almost all of these are basically coin flips, which I hate because I normally lose against coin flips. And this, out of all weeks, Titus, this is the week where you're going to catch up to me. So I have a feeling I'm going to lose majority of these, like, coin flips just because I just feel like my luck is running out. I've been really good the past few weeks. But I just feel like my luck's going to run out, and I feel like you're going to catch up to me this week in fantasy. Or in predictions, not fantasy. I don't even know what I was talking about.
I have Vegas just because I'm not convinced by the Browns, and Vegas still has a lot of juice left in them despite a very rough season. I think this is the type of matchup where anyone can win. And right now, I think Vegas still, they just need kind of like that pity win. Whereas like Browns, they're just, I don't even know. Browns just don't look like they're in it to win it to me. Other than like, I feel like Baker Mayfield has like that spirit, maybe Myles Garrett too, but the rest of the team just doesn't feel like it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Raiders team, they just have a lot of players that really want to win because they started off the season winning and they knew what it felt like to be the team that was on top. And then they slipped quite a lot, and now all they want to do is just end on a good note. And I'm sure Cleveland feels like that to some extent, but it's just been so much more of a disappointment than what they started off with, that they're just kind of like, man, this may just how it ends, you know? So I think Vegas will have a lot of fight.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
You're going to be upset. Let's move on to the Patriots. Colts are going to be upset by me due to who I picked. I picked the Patriots to beat the Colts.
Why?
This was another coin flip. This is the
Why?
third coin flip in a row. And I picked the Patriots maybe more on recency bias than anything else. They have a winning streak going. They have a really good defense. They have a really good offense. They've been blowing teams out left and right. This is going to be a really close game in which it's going to come down to the last few minutes of the games. Heck, it's going to come down to the final drive. Whoever has the ball last, I feel. But but like I just don't know why. I just feel like the luck is going to switch in Patriots' favor, in which they're going to get lucky by a couple plays and just going to beat the Colts somehow. Because Colts haven't proven to me quite yet. They're almost there of beating a really good team, other than I guess Buffalo. Did they lose to the Rams, or they did lose to the Rams, but
we beat Buffalo and 49ers.
And 49ers.
Those are our highlights.
Yes. I just haven't seen quite enough.
Overtime with Ravens and Titans.
Yes. But like if they do beat the Patriots in this game, then that's going to be a happy like
and last drive with the Buccaneers.
Yeah. that I want to be wrong because I am rooting for the Colts, and I just once they if they beat the Patriots, then I feel like that's going to be like they're the real deal. They're going to get into the playoffs some way or somehow.
Oh yeah, I think this game seals it.
Yeah,
playoff chances. Not that they're out if they lose, but this will seal it for me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, our last games are not that impressive. It's like I mean, Cardinals that is up in the air. Raiders, I think we can beat them, and Jaguars, we should beat them.
Yeah, it's just I just feel like the Colts are flippy-floppy for me. Yeah,
I always have the Colts. I think it's always been a big rivalry, but right now, man, it's going to be very important to get this win. Obviously, I think Indiana. What did you do? What are you doing? I was
change
whatever you did.
I was doing an experiment.
Command Z.
I did. Wait.
No, again.
There. My fault. I was trying to do an experiment. I was trying to see how you like highlight them both at the same time.
You shift.
Yeah.
And then arrow key.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you'd like drag the blue box over. Okay.
Oh, this?
Oh, alright. I wasn't paying attention. Alright.
Anyways, we'll talk about the Colts a little bit. Colts, I think, are most prepared to face the Patriots this week than they have in their previous meetings against the Patriots. I think it's finally time that they get the big win they needed against the Patriots, which it's been a long time. It really has. I've been waiting for this one. Every time we've played the Patriots, or T.Y. Hilton has, he's been double teamed. But this year, it's going to be a mistake if New England double teams him, because we do have Pittman, and we have, I don't know, we just have other targets, and we have an actual running game. That's what it comes down to. Like, our offense isn't one-dimensional. And that's what it comes down to. If we can maintain our multi-dimension aspect of our team, where we can be dominant in the passing game, which Wentz has been able to in many games, and we can be dominant in the rushing game when we want to, and we can be dominant on special teams, which is most of the time, and dominant on defense. If we can just have that multi-dimensionality and not be stuck in one area, then I think we can win this game, and I think we are prepared to do that. I think Wentz will be very pivotal. I think Hilton will be pivotal because he won't be double-teamed this time, and he's going to have something to prove. I think Pittman is going to have a lot to prove because he's finally being treated as like a real target as far as when defenses prepare for them. Taylor's going to be really prepared because he knows this is a defense that won't let up, kind of like with Buccaneers, and he's really going to want to prove that like when he has a ball, especially to start the game, he can actually get shit going. Whereas last time with the Buccaneers, he got stopped quite a bit at the beginning, which kind of led to things falling apart and us favoring the passing game and not giving the ball for many, many plays and drives. He's going to want to get off to a really good start against a very powerful defense. It's going to be very hard, but I think they're prepared for it. And it's the perfect game to come off of a bye for.
Yes.
Because it's the most important game of the year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly,
we're probably the most healthy we've been all season as well. So
yeah, if Taylor gets off to a fast start, then that's how the Colts are going to win. If they control the ball through running, then it's game over for the Patriots. Like the Colts are going to control the entire game.
I am not worried about the New England offense.
Yeah.
At all. Run game, pass game, none of it. Because I think our defense can handle that. It's just how much our offense can handle the New England defense. That's the side of the ball that I think is going to matter the most. Yes, and also special teams every now and then. So.
Yes, I agree. So if Taylor gets off to a fast start, it's over for the Patriots. Like if they can't stop Taylor, then it's game over for them. I just feel like Mac Jones is not going to be able to keep up.
Oh yeah.
Then we got. Do you have anything more to say, or you good? Okay. I fixed the camera too. I was like,
wow. So late in the podcast.
Yeah. At this point, no one's going to fucking like pay attention. Like I don't even know why I even attempted, but like you fucking got into my head with the fucking resume thing.
You said resume. You said resume.
No, okay. But like you said that you weren't proud of it.
I didn't say that. I was making a joke. I was like, I'm glad you're proud of it. I never said I wasn't proud of it.
All right, so Cowboys versus the Giants. This wasn't a coin flip. Well, okay, it was a coin flip in the fact of debating if I should actually pick the Cowboys or if I should not. The only reason why I picked the Cowboys this week is because I want to keep my like percentage up in predictions. I care more about you winning or me winning predictions than the Cowboys winning because they basically have the division locked. I want the Cowboys to lose out, but I know they're going to be a first round exit in the playoffs, so I'm not too worried about that. I have Dallas because the Giants look terrible. Dallas is not the Eagles, in which they're not going to let the Giants win. Honestly, it's simple enough that Cowboys.
I could see the Cowboys losing regardless, but I still have Dallas just because they're the better team, and the better team should always win.
Yes. Jacksonville versus Houston. This was another coin
flip.
This
really was a coin flip.
Yes.
And this is where I was going to talk about the tiers. The tiers in the league of who's the best and who's the worst. And the two teams at the bottom are these two teams, Jacksonville, Houston. And you can make a case for Jets, Lions. That's fine. I don't care. I still think Jacksonville and Houston are the two worst teams. I think Detroit is a tier above them.
I agree with you. You know why I agree with you?
Why?
Because Lions have just been getting really unlucky, but
exactly. There is no luck that comes to the Jaguars and Texans. Yes. They deserve every single one of their losses.
Yes. Earlier this podcast I said Trey was like, oh my god, we have like one of the biggest leads on the Lions, and I would have laughed a little bit at him, but I would have laughed more if there has been more blowouts against them, or if Lions had like more blowouts against them. But in reality, like honestly, they only had like maybe 2 or 3 blowouts where teams definitely like blew them out. There's like no chance for the Lions winning. But game in and game out, they've been like, I feel like they've been at like 7-point difference between winning, which is absurd. They just got so fucking unlucky. But they've been staying in games, and Houston and Jaguars simply have not.
They're just so bad, and it's crazy that it's going to be back-to-back AFC South in the draft.
Yes.
That's what it's going to come down to.
Like I see hope for. I see a little bit hope for the Lions. I see a little bit hope for the Jets.
Exactly. I see no hope at the current
Yeah.
state for Texans, because you would think at this point Texans are going to like go for a rebuild. Like, they've been trying to rebuild.
They're
They're
bad.
going to end up trading away the best player on their team that hasn't even played a snap this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to do that with Watson. And it's like, who's the savior on their team right now? There's no one. No one.
Maybe
Because all of them got traded away. All of them wanted out.
Maybe
And then-
Cooks, but I feel like he's going to get traded or like
Right.
Yeah, like ain't no way. Cooks is the only good thing on that team, and even then, that's like mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Like
And then Jacksonville, that is a whole different fire.
Robinson is the only good thing about that organization, and maybe Lawrence too.
I think there are pieces on defense that might be better, but
Yeah, but like I thought Jacksonville was on the upswing, drafting Lawrence, and they have some good defensive pieces, but after seeing how Lawrence performed this year, he didn't do terrible, but he didn't do good at all.
I don't think he's played well, but at the same time, he's only had teams that have been catered to his needs.
Yeah.
He played with Clemson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they went to the championship his freshman year. Like, that team was stacked. And now he's on the fucking Jaguars.
Yeah, like ain't no like I want to feel bad for him, but he's won for so long. Like, he literally has not lost in his high school and college career. I just want him to be humbled a little bit, and this is a big humbling moment, I feel, for him.
This is how he becomes the villain of the league.
Yes.
We need a good villain in the league.
Mm-hmm.
NBA has so many great villains in the league. You think of LeBron, you think of Jimmy Butler. Great villains in the league. NFL, who do you think of? Like Tom Brady, I guess, but everyone's kind of coming around to him. It seems like.
Yeah.
So, like, who do you have left?
Cowboys? Anyone on the Cowboys? Ben Roethlisberger?
I don't even think Ben Roethlisberger.
Their
is
entire-
a villain.
Entire Steelers.
I mean, yeah, there's always teams that people hate, like Celtics or something.
Okay, I guess like
but when we're talking
Juju.
about like a player,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
is he?
Yeah.
I don't even think he's relevant enough to be
last year
a
he
villain,
was.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
okay. The only argument that I have for Trevor Lawrence not being a villain is that
Well, not yet. I don't think he is yet,
No,
but he
yeah.
could be.
I just feel like simply not enough people notice the Jaguars. There's
Not
literally
yet, not yet.
there's literally no press on the Jaguars, so literally no one
Not-
cares.
No press on the Jaguars? Are you serious?
The only press on the Jaguars
It's bad press.
is bad press. So it's like you can't.
You never thought you could see bad press in your life.
You-
All press is good press? No, that's bad
Yeah,
press.
you literally can't create a villain out of a team that's already bad. All right, we should speed run the rest.
No, I think it's because is such a controversial team that he can become a villain if he becomes good.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to cheer for the Jaguars, but if he becomes good and leads in the playoffs, it's gonna be like, damn, I fucking hate this guy.
But like, why did they sign Urban Myers as their head coach?
I
He's
mean-
the ultimate villain. He's the ultimate villain.
True, he is a villain, but he has historically won and has been very great in college.
It doesn't. College and NFL are two
I agree.
completely
I
different
agree, but it doesn't mean that college coaches shouldn't get a chance in the league.
things. Look at Nick Saban.
I'm not saying that there aren't coaches that are just so much better than college and can't do shit in NFL, but like there are also coaches that can't. You know,
Yeah.
Most coaches come from college, and then rise the ranks through the NFL. I think it's hard to jump into a head coaching position with no prior NFL experience. Usually, it goes like assistant coach in college to head coach in college to assistant coach in the NFL to head coach. It's very hard to go from head coach in college to head coach in the NFL.
I agree. All right, we should speed run
Yeah,
this
let's
because
do
this is a lot longer than I was anticipating. I have Tennessee Titans beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, this was another coin flip just because Titans have been looking bad recently. I'm not including the Jaguars game because it's the fucking Jaguars. Of course, they're fucking going to beat the Jaguars. Without Henry, they're useless.
But they also lost to the Texans, so
that is very true. But I just have Titans. I don't know why I have Titans. This was a coin flip. You're probably going.
I said Steelers only because it favors the Colts.
And you hate the Titans.
Yeah.
Miami Jets. I have Miami because Miami's on a hot streak and they're just a better team as of now.
I think right now Miami has all the things they need. They're finally realizing, like, oh yeah, this is why we almost got playoffs last year. Like, we have good pieces still. We just didn't have a clear vocal presence because Fitzpatrick left. But Tua's finally coming in and actually being the leader he needs to be. He's putting up good numbers, so I think they can do it.
I hate the fact that they're 6-7 right now because they started off the season 1-7. I was really on the bandwagon of them losing the rest of the games, but somehow they were 6-7, and now I hate them because it ruins the Eagles draft picks. And fuck you, because you have the same record as the Eagles. Like,
fuck you.
Eagles. Talking about the Eagles Washington. I have Eagles beating Washington. Honestly, this is going to be a blowout. Like I said earlier, 18 members on the Washington have COVID out. That's like half the eligible roster who goes on the field, and
I'm so hyped.
It like I'm going to this game. I'm going to watch
it's gonna
it.
Be great to watch.
It's
from home.
It's so exciting, and like half their defensive line is out. Like majority of their defensive line is out. Chase Young already has injuries.
Yeah, he's already injured.
Yeah, like it cannot get worse. Like if the Eagles don't beat the Washington by at least 20 points in this game, then like I give up being an Eagles fan. The Eagles should just dominate in every aspect of this.
Yeah.
What are you looking up? I feel like
I was looking at an Urban Meyer tweet.
Oh, what was the Urban Meyer tweet?
It was just like, how does Urban Meyer still have a job? And I was looking at the comments. So. Yeah, I have Philadelphia just because, I don't know. Washington's iffy. Philadelphia, a bit less iffy.
Come on, this should be a confident Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, with the fact that they're out, yeah, but I remember I put this in like a while ago. So
okay.
It wasn't with the recent news.
Oh, okay. I like before the COVID stuff, I would say this is a close game.
Yeah.
Like this is a very close game, evenly matched. But after the COVID stuff, this is a blowout. But Arizona Cardinals first, Detroit Lions, Cardinals win.
Yeah.
No discussion.
Nothing more to say there. Also, they're coming back from a loss.
Yeah.
And are an away team. They have not lost when they're an away team.
Damn, that's crazy.
Their only losses have been at home.
Damn.
So yeah, fun fact.
Crazy. Buffalo versus Carolina Panthers. I have Buffalo. Why? I have Buffalo winning this.
Fuck.
What the fuck was that?
I just accidentally put Command V.
Yeah.
But
Why did you pick the Panthers to beat the Buffalo? This is confusing.
Buffalo. Fuck Buffalo. Just kidding.
Wait, how the fuck did the Buffalo get 7-6? What the fuck?
Yeah, they're at 7-6 right now.
That's
Remember
crazy.
all the shit we were saying at the beginning of the season? Like, oh, they're blowing out teams. They're the best team in the league.
Yeah.
They're 7-6 now.
Honestly, you called it. Like you.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not convinced. Yes.
Yeah.
Roll the tape. I don't know if you have any clips from that.
Like I would, but it's like I don't even know what episode that conversation was on. And I'm not going back for hours of content just to find a 10-second thing. But yeah, you
take my word for it. I called it.
Yes.
Carolina. Sam Darnold's back. Who knows? That's really all it comes down to. Also, it helps the Colts in the playoff picture.
Yes, it does.
So that's what I'm saying.
Cincinnati Bengals versus Denver. This was another coin flip. I got the Bengals. Honestly, I can see Denver winning.
No, I have the Bengals confidently.
Really?
I think Bengals have a chance to take AFC North. Denver's out of the playoffs. I don't think they're going to the playoffs. Cincinnati has a chance. Joe Burrow looks really good. Not enough people are talking about this.
Joe Burrow is looking good in the actual league and in fantasy as well. Maybe a little sleeper to start off your playoff journey. Pick up Joe Burrow. Not you, not you personally, but like.
To the fans.
Yeah, to the fans.
Hey. Waiver wire.
Hey,
Joe Burrow? Question mark? Sam Darnold coming off IR. That's all I'm saying. Not a lot of people probably have him. So
Yeah. 49ers versus Atlanta. I got the 49ers just because
I do too.
they're just a more complete team.
They've been looking great.
Yes.
They've been looking real
They're
good.
nonstop, like undefeatable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that's correct.
Same.
Los Angeles Rams versus Seahawks. I had the Rams.
Yeah, Seahawks, they're just out of the playoffs. Like,
Yes.
you said they would be the number one seed in the NFC.
That's so bad. The complete. I had them at what 14-3. That's
yeah, 14-3.
They still have a chance.
Oh my god.
That I don't want to talk about that. That's
Rams are
embarrassing.
beating them.
Yes.
Go Matty Stafford. I really want Matty Stafford to get MVP. I think that'd be dope. But
Yeah. Me too. I
first
love
year off the
Stafford.
Lions and all of a sudden he gets MVP. Like, that's what he deserves.
Yes. Maybe if he doesn't get it this year, he has to get it next year.
Right.
Packers versus Ravens. I have the Packers just because Raiders are making a lot of mistakes. Packers are
Ravens.
not. Aaron Rodgers is making a case for MVP. He's having his MVP campaign.
Lamar Jackson might be out.
Yeah.
Still not confirmed.
If he's out, then it's game over for
And
the
even
Ravens.
if he's in, he's not going to be playing like he's 100%. No
Yeah.
way. He had like an ankle sprain.
Yeah, ain't no way he's playing 100%. Buccaneers versus Saints. I have Buccaneers because Saints suck. Why?
Taysom Hill is looking great.
But the
Saints
Buccaneers, come on.
defense, pretty good. Saints last year, what the fuck? Saints last year, I'm pretty sure they swept the Buccaneers. They're no
Yeah.
stranger to beating them.
But that's Drew Brees led team.
But actually, no. I'm pretty sure one of those games Taysom Hill was playing because Drew Brees was out for partially that year.
Wow.
So I think it could happen. I don't think Tampa Bay's a perfect team by no means. Otherwise, they would have clinched playoffs already. They may be 10-3, but New Orleans still has a lot of great stuff. Alvin Kamara looks healthy. He had a great game last game. I think there's a chance, and I'm just gonna roll with it. I like the underdog.
I do too.
So yeah, and it would make for a fun Sunday night football game.
Yes. I feel like you always have a under at least one
At least
one
one
on
underdog.
upset game.
Yeah.
And Carolina is an upset, but I feel like this is more of an upset than
for sure.
Minnesota versus Chicago. I have Minnesota.
Me too.
I just simply for the fact that I don't like the Bears.
I think Minnesota just looks better. I mean,
Yeah.
Chicago has looked good in doses, but Minnesota, throughout the season, throughout their wins, they've been looking good.
Yeah.
Some losses have looked bad, but a lot of Chicago losses look really bad. So
Yeah, I honestly need
that's
the
the difference.
Bears to win just for the playoff seed for the Eagles. But yeah, I can see the Bears winning because Vikings lost to the Lions and they almost lost to the Steelers after being up 29-0. Minnesota is a very, very good team. It's just that they don't know how to close games and seal out games. They would 100% have a way better record than they have now if they matured and realized how to fucking close out games. Transactions for fantasy update. I did not make the playoffs, which is frustrating.
So sad.
Trust me, I'm just really, really bad at fantasy.
Wow.
I'm arguably the most knowledgeable on football out of this fantasy group just because of I only say that just because I've been watching football the most or for the longest. So honestly, I have probably the most football knowledge. I just suck at fantasy. And Titus knows the second most, and he went 12-2, 10-2, 12-2, 12-2.
I'm also in the playoffs in all of my other fantasy leagues.
Yes. Titus, Brendan, Sophia, and Josh all in the playoffs. And it's me, Claudia, Licia, and Trey in the bottom four bracket. So yeah, that's just a little update on the transactions that happened. Titus dropped T.Y. Hilton. He added Joseph. Titus added Packers defense, dropped Bears defense. Titus added Chuba Hubbard. Then he added Michael Carter again, then dropped Chuba Hubbard. So all of the recent transactions has only been based off of Titus.
If I lose,
I'm gonna laugh. I'm rooting for Josh. I'm rooting for Josh to win. That'll be such an. He knows.
I need to repeat. No, I don't. I need to beat Josh. I just need to make championships, and I'll be happy. I had a great regular season. I didn't lose to Josh. If I lose to either Sophia and Brendan, I'm fine because I know they kind of care.
Yes.
Brendan cares a lot, actually.
Yeah. Honestly, Sophia cares a lot too.
I don't know about a lot. Every now and then, I think in doses, yeah.
I feel like she cared more last year, but I feel like this one she's on and off.
She got off to a rough start this year and had problems with injuries, but I don't even know if she realizes, but her team is still good.
Yes. And she didn't put in Cook last week when he played the Steelers, and he had like 35 points.
She pays attention.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yes.
Josh does not. So.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting offseason or playoffs for our fantasy. Josh knows literally zero. I'm not even exaggerating. He literally knows zero things about football. Like knows nothing. I'm not even joking when I tell you that. He knows absolutely nothing about football. All he knows is Tom Brady, and I'm pretty sure that's only because he was in the news for kissing his son and he's slightly attractive. I think that's the only reason why he knows Tom Brady. I don't know.
Damn.
But I was talking about the MVPs, like the top MVPs, the NFL, like the top 51 MVPs.
All right.
Because we were talking about it earlier, and then we can wrap this up. I'm just going to go top 10 MVPs. This is from the NFL website. Top 10, going from 10 to 1. Top 10, Terrell Davis, Emmitt Smith, LaDainian Tomlinson, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, and the number 1 is Kurt Warner in 1999. But I think that... Why did you fucking take out your mic? That You're so fucking mean. You're so fucking mean. I hate you. I don't want to... I'm going to have Josh as a host next year. I don't even know why I'm still talking because you kept fucking talking. But I'm having Josh. I'm having Josh host this next year. He's going to put more respect on this, you fucking little bitch. All right, that ends it here.